Teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Foodie, in what I can only describe politely as her eternal wisdom, did a 6-hour live stream. 6 hours. Oh no, I'm sorry, a 6-hour fundraiser. Now, as it happened, yesterday, I spent most of the day building IKEA furniture. So I did have some people on in the background. I was catching up with her a little bit. I did have the live running for, I think, a couple of hours, but I am not about to react to 6 hours of it online. I'm not about to do that. The little vlog for the IKEA furniture, by the way, will be up for members fairly soon. So I've got, I think it's Piggy's cut down today, about her apartment, because she had applied for an apartment and had sent like a month's rent, the last month's rent or whatever, to, secure it, even though it had not been given to her and not been approved. She just sent the money. Now, she herself is a scammer. You'd think it would take one to know one, and she'd be a little more careful with the money she had literally had to beg online, but no. And that is the situation we're in right now. So we're gonna get to this.
Hi.
Serious question, so don't get all defensive. Why haven't you tried to learn Arabic in 3 years? Even Duolingo can help you with basic conversation. I've got Duolingo. I can answer this for her pre-Syria days, which is she's never needed to engage in the social aspect of things, so she's never needed to learn. I know far less Arabic than I should know at this point in my life. But the fact is, I don't need it for work. So I haven't forced myself to learn when I really should have. But I have at least got Duolingo.
I don't know, Tasha. Never really felt like it, I guess. Hey, Nubby. Thanks, normal set.
Like I said, she barely engaged with anyone in Kuwait, but once she got to Syria and literally nobody spoke English, and she's talked multiple times about how awkward it is that she has to engage with people she can't communicate with, Duolingo at least. I'm not saying it would be easy, I'm saying you'd start.
Don't get into it. No, I'm not going to be getting into any relationships. Thanks,
Really
normal.
not.
Thanks, Lily. I have enough for rent. I have enough for my plane, my deposit. So my first month's rent, the deposit for the apartment. Hi, Ted. No.
I think the deposit for the apartment was the last. So she said she had enough for first and last, and she's already booked her flight, which I think she said was $687. Chantal, is this a visit to Canada or permanent stay?
Oh, Melissa, I'm going home for good.
We'll see.
Maybe visas. Once he
Oh, they asked if Pete was moving in. Again, I think it would be such a stupid move for Pete. It's a stupid move he gets to make, but it would be such a stupid move.
has a job. This will really help. Even if it's super chats, because they go towards my pay in October, which I'll be using to get home. I have a couple more huge debt payments, this pay and next pay. So that's why I'm kind of fundraising, and then
I had said October, but listen, with the fundraising, right? She had randomly assigned 10,000 to this. I do think moving takes a lot, and I do think that Salah had bought a car, which quite conveniently was $10,000. I think they said $10,000. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm really sorry. But she chooses when she moves. Now, there are YouTuber reasons to be in place at the time she wants to be in place, because the big money months are November, December. But if she's willing to wait until the end of October, and she's willing to be in the house, and it's apparently not in the immediate danger from him and his family that she presented she was, then why wouldn't you wait one extra month so that you could pay off your debts and then have an amount of money without having to ask? The answer is clearly because people are giving it to her, but still.
I should be okay. I don't think it was a scam.
She's talking about the apartment.
Apparently landlords can do that, but that usually means that you're approved, but I don't know. If they...
Yeah, so why wouldn't you ask that first? Hey, it's quite a big deposit for something I don't have paperwork for. Can you tell me if I'm approved? Now, if I had to guess, either on behalf of the company or if it's a private landlord, the private landlord, it's to prevent people from saying, oh yeah, I'll take it, taking it offline, and then having to re-advertise it when they fall through, at least if they put some money through. it means that there's a good chance it's not going to just be wasted. But it's also very easy to scam people when you do that.
I know I'll be pretty gutted because then I'll have to keep looking. Hope someone will approve me with my crappy credit.
Yeah.
I have bad credit, but, you know.
I wonder what her credit is. Like her actual credit score. It's got to be awful.
I pay my rent, and I have income.
She claims a few times in this that she's never missed the rent payment. If you have bankruptcy and your payments are being garnished for debt and what have you, I don't imagine that's much relief to the person taking the risk of renting to you, because it shows you clearly cannot manage your money. I don't know if they get that level of detail when they run a credit check though, so.
Honestly, when I get settled, I might honestly look for a part-time job.
Who would hire you?
Even just working from home.
Who would hire you? I would imagine for people who cannot get out easily or have responsibilities like childcare or things at home, working online is pretty in demand. It's not like she offers anything above market in any other way. Why would they choose her over someone else?
I'm ordering an exercise ball.
Vital expenditure, was
I
it?
used to work a lot in customer service, yeah. I saw ALR's YouTube short. It was so cute.
I saw that short. I kept seeing, people kept reposting it and being like, your keyboard isn't even plugged in, what do you think you're doing? And I was like, right, that's a good start. But then because it was being referenced so much, I went and clicked on it. And I don't know if they had taken out the music because of copyright or whatever, but there was no music on it. It was just super awkward. Just listening to her heavy breathe into her hot honey mac and cheese. I was like, sorry, what?
Yeah, Lori. Well, they said 48 to 72 hours. Man, I'm telling you, if you have to learn anything, learn to be good with your budgeting, okay? Don't live beyond your means.
You're kidding. I would happily budget for Foodie. If she were willing to do that, I would sit down and make a budget for her. Because she does talk about the amount for her apartment later, and it, I don't believe, is in her means. But who on earth would take advice from her? They might take lessons from her, but advice? Even when it's good advice?
The sunlight never changed in her workday. I don't have a wish list yet here. I remember one Christmas, I was pretty young. I was in my 20s, and, I was super, I was like kind of broke because I was younger. I didn't have a good job. So I remember calling one day for an increase on my credit limit and on my credit card, and they were like, sure, we can give you $5,000.
When I think about it, credit was so easy to get back in the day. I'm so glad I didn't start using credit cards till later in life. Like, even when I did, I hit a point where I was like, oh, I'm using these too much. And then I had to focus on like going on a credit card payoff thing. And even then I was in like my 30s. I was earning a decent amount. I could fix it. That was the genesis for all the financial stuff that I started doing in Oman. Just realizing that I was getting myself to a point that I didn't want to be in. But Foodie, young, not a great paying job. Yep, sure, have $5,000. What age was her first bankruptcy?
And back then I was like $5,000 for Christmas. Man, I spoiled people. My mom's like, my mom tried to warn me, don't blow it.
Yeah.
Don't blow it. Did I blow it? Yes.
Of course you did. If someone tells you not to do something, it's going to be the first thing you do. And spending $5,000 on Christmas. Like, that is a lot of money in the best of days. And I understand if you've got a large family, if you've got kids, things can add up. But this is $5,000 when Foodie was in her 20s with not a large extended family. It would have been her grandma, her sister, her mum, and if her mum was with her stepdad. That's nuts. It's expected, but it's nuts.
So, cool Calico, other than pause drama, what was your most terrible experience in Kuwait? Thanks for the money towards the fundraiser.
Who was that? Cool Calico? What choices are you making with your life? Yes, it's your money. I'm not arguing it's not your money, but the choices.
Terrible moment in Kuwait?
Your
Besides
general
pause?
existence.
Um,
She had it pretty cushy in Kuwait, really. I would guess the Kybella stuff would be the low point of Kuwait.
Probably when I had sciatica and had to go to the clinic. Oh my goodness. That was awful. That was probably one of the most painful things I've gone through besides my cyst pain.
Her tiny little cup. You deserve happiness and freedom. Hello, Amberlynn.
Amberlynn Reed! You deserve happiness and freedom. Thank you, Amberlynn! Is that the real Amberlynn? Wow.
Is that the real Amberlynn? Wow. Look at the clouds. And Amberlynn's going to be just soaking up the attention. Yes, wow, appreciate me.
Hopefully someday we could meet up. That would be so cool. So do you deserve that, Amberlynn, yes. And I loved your what I eat from work video. That's so cute. Who looks gorgeous, Nina? Me?
The fact that she immediately rat-faced the moment she said it. Chantel, when you get to Canada, we'll be in touch and I'll get you that scooter. Don't worry, Wanda is back. Wanda has spent some money with Foodie recently.
When you get in Canada, I will be in touch and I'll get you that scooter. No way, Wanda! Oh, you've been so generous already. Oh, you're so kind, honestly.
So that's like the correct response to somebody offering you $1,000 to $1,200 for doing nothing, right? Oh my God, that's so kind. You've been so generous.
I think it's if you go on Amazon, it's $1,200.
Straight to, this is where you can buy it, this is the price. If you want to pre-order it, I'm sure my mom would take delivery.
For the 400-pound one, that's not bad.
That's not bad, it's only $1,200. She does this again and again in this live where she talks about how, she's fundraising because she needs to start up her new life, but then the things she's thinking of buying. I see the argument for the scooter in the sense of she cannot afford a car or a car payment. So at least she would be able to get to some close by places. I think all the talk about, hey, mobility scooters can often lead to less mobility than before using it because you become less reliant on your own body, and therefore mobility issues can become more pronounced if relying on a mobility scooter because you stop forcing yourself to walk to places and therefore your ability to walk becomes even lower. Now, obviously, situations vary. Of course they do. There are people who have no choice at any age, in any weight, in any design of body. There are people who have no choice. But as many people have pointed out, it's the attitude about it with this. People who generally lose their mobility will fight to keep it. But Foodie is just so excited, like, no, you're right, it's going to be hard, but I found an easier way. Yes, I might end up losing mobility altogether, but look, I could get a scooter. Just get that for me, would you? Never mind that $1,200 could do a lot more for me in my life in this moment, and I could do it the hard way and walk because over time it would get easier. Let's just get a scooter.
That will improve my life because until I can lose weight or whatever, I need to see a doctor. But I want to be able to scoot around.
But how will you lose weight if you're not doing those things? If you're scooting instead of walking, you're making your body do less work.
Go to the store every morning, or go to the park and just get some fresh air and, strawberry cube.
Bear in mind as well that she had a car last time she was in Canada and she didn't go anywhere. She got high, she got depressed, she didn't go out. She picked up a few things from here and there, The ability to go outside wasn't the issue. The choice to not go outside was the issue.
The BS, because they know it's not a scam. They know I'm moving. I already have my ticket bought. I already have a deposit, and I need to buy things for my apartment. How is that a scam?
So my question, let's say for a moment that she is actually planning to stay in Canada long term. Let's forget the fact that she's about to talk about saving up a little bit every month for Julia to eventually get Julia home, and therefore I guess we'll still be in contact with Salah, even though It seems to be like they're separating. That's a little bit of suspicion, but let's move on. Let's just put a pin in that and say, okay, you're going to stay there permanently. She doesn't know how much she needs, but if she's got the flight and she's got the deposit because she's paid it, how much is she actually fundraising for right now? It is so bizarre that she's got a fundraiser without a goal. And this is what I think the story about, potentially being scammed, potentially not being scammed. I would not be shocked if she came on in 3 days and was like, oh, the money hasn't gone through. I guess I'm going to have to ask you for a bit more. Because she didn't get to her 10,000 goal last time when the fundraisers were being taken down from offline. So then she tried, I'm in an emergency situation, I need to leave as fast as possible, and the family weren't interested. And now she's trying, oh yeah, I may potentially have gotten scammed. But whether that works or that doesn't, there'll be more handouts. There'll be more attempts. But right now, let's say she needs to furnish an apartment. She needs some basic kitchenware. She'll need a bed, which last time we said on the Costco website was like $200. And she admits her mum gave her, so she didn't actually buy last time. So if she wants to rent a car for a few days, last time she went for a week or 2 weeks, it was like $1,200 for a car. But if you're literally renting it for 2, 3, 4 days while you just get to and from places to be able to move things into your apartment, you just shop for a few days and there you are, it's not going to be that much. But let's say $500-$600 for a few days in a car. If she wanted to do things cheap, because she's been talking Dollarama, she could go to thrift stores, she could get basic crockery and cutlery for her kitchen. She could get some cheap bedding. If she has to buy a bed, because I doubt her family are particularly into helping her right now because she's fighting with everyone and she kind of screwed them over last time. And basics like towels, the stuff that you need around the apartment. If she were going cheap with this, if she's going to Dollarama's, if she's going to be thrifting, she can do that for $200, $300. Oh, with the cost of the bed. So let's say, it'd be no more than $400. For basics, settling in, I need cups, glasses. Now, are there things she can buy? Are there things like a sofa, a coffee table, furniture? Yes, of course there are. But she can do that on her own dime over time. I don't know how much she ended up making this round, but I'd be interested to know the final figure. I'm sure somebody knows. At what point does she hit whatever target she has?
You guys know how expensive it is. I don't even have dish soap. I need to do a grocery order when I get there. A big order from Walmart or something.
Right. You have a car, or you will have a car, you said. Why not just drive to the Walmart, get your stuff?
Protein, fruits, and veggies. I need to have fruits and veggies. I can't wait to just, I don't know. It's true, Christina. I can see how people think it'll, enable me to be more lazy, but it's also, it's going to help me get out and stuff. I
really don't think it will. Do you remember back in the villa when she bought that little, it was a bit like a walking frame, but then it had a seat so that she could sit down in it, and she was like, oh, I'm going to be able to get out and just have a rest. And it was she made fun of people for doing that in the past, but yeah, okay. If it means she gets out further and she does need to sit down and rest, but she keeps going, I didn't have a problem with it. I think she used it maybe once. Why would this scooter be any different?
I really want to go home. Yeah, I do. I still feel like it's so far away, but I'm trying to enjoy my time here because, I won't be seeing Salah ever again, and I won't, Julia might be a long, long time. If I ever can raise enough money, maybe even in a couple years.
Guys, if I can raise enough money, guys.
If I put a bit of money away every month, I just, it's like Smarties or M&Ms, the Syrian ones. You pop them. Well, I didn't get the apartment.
Oh, she's annoyed. Before I went to bed, I had just seen the part where she was waiting for the information. I understand that it's disappointing, especially when you're like, oh, at least if that's done, that's one thing off my mind.
I'm gonna have to live in a crappy apartment like I did.
Her internet was going in and out. She's so judgmental of crappy apartments for somebody who is literally begging for money online. Am I gonna have to live in a one bed that I can afford? God.
I'm trying to move up.
Move up? To what? With what? You move up when you get yourself to a point where you've built up enough that you can move up. It's a natural progression. If anything, you should be moving down. Oh,
Name and see that you're a crazy YouTuber.
Her internet keeps cutting out. Sorry, guys. That's probable as well. Like, there's more than enough reasons to refuse her application based on just her credit and things alone. But if anyone, especially someone, if this is a private rental, which I would assume it would be because any kind of big corporations would have bare minimums and just be like, nah. But any private landlord, the first thing they're going to do is go search you online. And it's not like Chantel's last foray into renting and the condition she left the apartment in is particularly hidden.
Yeah, seriously. Like, why bother taking them? That's what they said. They're going to send it back. You should...
God,
yeah, get my money back.
All right, so we'll see if she gets her money back. I'm guessing, like I said at the beginning of this, that they took it because then if they wanted to move forward and they went to the trouble of doing the checks and things, it just is a bit more security for them so that people don't just change their minds. But there is definitely a chance you could just be scammed out of that money. And regardless of what they do, there's also a chance that she'll just say she was scammed out of that money so she can try and get more.
Renting, it's like when you have YouTube as a job, it's hard.
Yeah, because it's not a guaranteed income.
Bring back to Canada, thank you. Nope, they just said... They probably just investigate the hell out of you and then they're like...
God, her internet going in and out is terrible. But yes, they've probably just looked into her and been like, oh, no.
What about just living in a car?
This living in a car conversation, one, she could never do it. Like, living in a car is harder than it looks. I think she's just seeing it as the kind of van life aesthetic. Two, she'd be in Canada, so it would be cold. And three, she doesn't actually own a car.
And beezing around. Maybe it's meant to be. And it's too cold to live in a car, too. Roses, go lay in a bed of shit.
But make sure you donate, guys.
There is a plan B, but you just have to...
What is the plan B? Giving up on the pretense and staying in Syria? Because, like I said, even though Syria is her location, a more sensible plan in terms of finances would have been, okay, wait the additional month, go 3 months from now instead of 2 months from now, and have a YouTube payment backing you up that wasn't being spent on debt. But like I said, there are balances to that in terms of loss of income.
Find someone willing to... Yeah, just wait, something will come. Yeah.
There will be a place for Foodie, but she's gonna have to let go of a little bit of the arrogance first. She's gonna have to let go of this assumption of, well, I'm just better than certain places. Because she doesn't have the background and the history to be able to rent those places. And even if she does, that living within your means again, we don't know how much she's earning a month, and stopping whatever debt payment it was will help. But you don't know when she's going to have to go back to court and when she's going to have to start making another payment, because whatever payment this is, it's not the end of her debt. It's just the end of whatever she's being forced to pay for this particular one. So the sensible thing to do really would be work on the assumption that you're not gonna earn that money that went to debt and that it's gonna go to a different debt, but maybe have like a month break where you can just gather it together and pay a deposit or something. That's what living within her means at this point.
You can make a crappy place nice, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
As long as there's no bugs and it's clean, like...
There are lots of places that will start clean. No bugs is down to you, friend. Stop hoarding food in cupboards and drawers and you've got less chance of bugs. I wonder if that was part of the argument she had with her family. Because Pete couldn't co-sign at this point. He doesn't make enough money, so she'd have to ask family. And this is what she says.
I want to get this place on my own. I hate asking people for stuff like that.
So she's got no problem asking her Bezos for stuff like that. They're the ones she's come to for money. But she's fighting with her family. The family that she kind of screwed over last time they helped her a few months ago in Canada. So I get the feeling that the parents have said, her mum and her husband have said, yeah, no. You come to Canada, you knock on the door, we'll be happy to see you. But given what happened last time, how you situate yourself in Canada is going to be your responsibility.
You want an Ashie? I need a hug from my cat and she's being snobby. Why?
Because you're an awful person who she doesn't want to touch her.
Oh gosh, this is gonna hurt so bad. This is gonna hurt me a lot more than it hurts you.
She's been leaning into the fact that her body is in so much pain. I'm sure it is, but now she wants the scooter. It's going to become a more central conversation as a justification.
I need a house.
You don't need a house. You need a 1-bed apartment. You want a house. And for some reason, you're not willing to lower those particular standards.
It's hard to get rented to. I have things working against me.
Yeah, with your history, even if you've paid your rent, your entire history of the way you live and the state you live in is online for anyone to see.
So, 400 pounds, I'm 344.
I don't know if I believe that. If she is, then her mobility is such that it doesn't matter that she's at a lower weight because she's been inside so much in the Middle East, she's lost any ability to move around. Like, her body is aging hard.
But close to, I guess. Guys, I'm so bummed out. Now I have to keep looking. What about a condo in Toronto? They're expensive, but...
Yeah. Even I know, and I've never rented in Canada, even I know Toronto is an expensive place.
I got rejected. It's not a scam.
Well, you don't know that till you get your money back, but we'll see.
Rejection hurts, man. I shall try. I got my apartment last time.
She did, and she fucked the landlord over. But again, if you're literally scrambling for any place, then you've got to be willing to take any place you can. Hey, I have a terrible credit history, and I'm in big debts, and my wages are being garnished, and, you know, my credit score is really low, but please rent me your finest place.
Hopefully I can find something this time. It might be a Roach Motel. It was just nice. I don't know. Had everything I wanted.
I would actually be interested as well to have a list of what she's looking for in an apartment. Because there is a general range of this is a need, this is a want, this is ridiculous. And I've got a feeling Foodie might be floating in that back area.
Anyone a landlord here who wants to rent to me?
If anyone's on her channel right now, why on earth would you?
What's my budget? Maybe 2,200.
And that seems like a really high budget. I know that prices are out there, yeah? The last time she was in Canada a couple of months ago, I think she was paying around $1,400, $1,450, something like that for her apartment. Now, she doesn't want what she terms to be a crappy apartment, but she's also begging for money online, so let's adjust our thinking a little bit, shall we? When I did a quick Google search a couple of videos ago because she was asking for this money and I was like, I wonder what a reasonable amount for an apartment is, there were apartments at around that $1,500 range. And they were reasonable looking apartments, and she could even go a bit higher, go to about $1,700 and get somewhere pretty decent for herself. But she doesn't want to do that. So she's also trying to get something not too expensive that's a 2-bed that she doesn't need. Like, she could save, what, $500 a month right then and there, but tell me more about living within your means. No, but guys, I want a nicer place. Yes, and many people want many things. If you can't afford it, why should you have it? Okay, you need a roof. We're willing to help you with a roof. I don't know why people are willing to help her with a roof, but okay, they are. Their money, their choices. But then you go on, and it's not in this cut down, but she's like, you know, I want to get one of those exercise bouncy balls. I want to get Halloween henna. Like, let's talk about things you really need for your place. The first thing you do when you're on a budget is cut down on luxuries, particularly when you're moving again, and because prices change a lot, and because, you know, what she pays for her apartment changes and her income changes. The first thing you want to do as someone who's seriously budgeting would be, and I realize she's not seriously budgeting, by the way, but the first thing you would actually want to do is spend a month just tracking everything you spend, because then you can sort out the minimum cost, the maximum cost, the needs, the wants, what can be cut, what can't be. But her categories of need are seriously questionable. Well, guys, it's depressing when I can't get everything I want immediately. Well, yes, welcome to adulthood.
300. I want like a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, well, get over it, man. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. I'm sure we'll get more news. I cannot believe there are still people giving her money, but their choices, their consequences. I think we will see a series of escalating situations that demand that she get more money, though, quite coincidentally. All right, guys, enjoy. I'm going to get set it up. Bye-bye.